Morning, folks. So this morning, tea time looks a little different, right? Doing it from the car. Um, but I thought I would share this reflection with you guys. I realized that the Lord has been speaking to me about a particular thing, or rather, two things, I guess you can say, over the past few years, and it has taken different forms over time. So the two things are resilience and persistence, right? When I think back on it, when I reflect at the start of 2020, at that time he was talking to me more about emotional resilience, emotional persistence, sticking through the hard emotional things. Um, if you know me, you know that I am quite the empath, and so I was very empathetic, but I didn't know how to manage it well. And so I would take on things that didn't belong to me. I would get overwhelmed with it, and then my default was to recoil in myself and kind of just shut down, don't do anything, and just sit in being overwhelmed rather than pressing pressing through and coming out on the other side stronger, right? So that is something that the Lord took me through. And then there was another side to it as well. When it is that I'm hurt, when it is that maybe there was a harsh confrontation with someone, or I was offended by something or whatever, what was my response? Was I still responding in love? Was I still responding in grace? Was I still responding in a way that reflects God's character, or was I responding out of my flesh? And clearly, um, I had been responding incorrectly, and that is why the Lord would have impressed it upon me, the importance of correcting that behavior. So He took me through that, and of course there are things that are still being worked on in that area, but for the most part I have learned how to better manage that empathetic side of me, how to care for people without going into this state of um, hyperactive thought when it comes to them and their situation and stuff, but truly being present in a way to help them practically. So that is still a work in progress. But what I realize, and what the Lord has shown me, is that for 2021 there is a different focus, same umbrella of resilience and persistence, but the focus this time around, the larger focus I should say, is on mental and physical resilience, and persistence. So I say it that way because I believe that the pushing through physically, like when you're feeling tired, or when you are not at your best, when you're in some discomfort, pushing through that is an act of will. It's a decision that you have to make. So we choose how we respond when we're tired, when we're physically tired, or when we are having some discomfort. We choose, right? And I realized I realized as I was processing what the Lord was showing me about being resilient, about being persistent when it comes to my mental and physical state, I realized that I have not been acting in that way. So when I'm tired, I'll give in to it, um, and I'll go into this. I would go into this state of unresponsiveness, as opposed to pressing through to complete the things that I have set out to do. Yeah, I'm a list girl, so I'll prepare my list for the day and say, okay, this is what I need to accomplish. But was I really giving it my all? Was I giving it my best? Was I mentally preparing myself, putting myself in a mental space to push through the difficult barriers? Because naturally, when we have a lot on our plates, we're gonna get tired. There are things that you won't feel like doing. but it has to come from a place of decision. And so pushing through when it's difficult is where that resilience comes in. And I do believe that the Lord is preparing me for something else with all of this training in resilience and persistence. Yes, but the focus right now is learning what he's teaching me right now, which is that mental and physical resilience. Pushing through, staying committed, even when it looks hard, even when it feels hard, even when it looks impossible, still pushing through, because I'm in his service and he is in fact the God of the impossible. So there's nothing that I cannot do through Christ. There's nothing that he will give me that I cannot do with him. So I was just sharing that this morning and encouraging you to think about what is it that the Lord has been talking to you about. Is there something that he has been impressing upon you, something specific that he has been saying that you should focus on, that you should work on as you go into this year and next season, whatever it is for you this week? Maybe it is, but what is it that the Lord may be impressing on you that you have not acted on? What is it that you need to push forward with, and to kind of just bite the bullet and say, okay, Lord, I surrender, I'm going to do it. Forgive me for having ignored your instructions before, and just surrender wholly and completely to fulfill what it is that he's calling you to do right now. Because, guys, we know the importance of obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. It is obedience that keeps us in the will of God. It is obedience that allows us to see his favor and for his glory to come, for his kingdom to come on earth. It requires our obedience. So though it may seem like a simple thing, though it may seem like something that is just for you, believe me, it's not just for you. The Lord has a greater purpose for it. And if we are truly saying that we want to be living sacrifices unto him, if it is that we are saying that we are here for him as members of his body, let us act the part and not just be saying the words. Let us do what he says, not just be hearers of the word, but doers of the word. Blessings, guys. Have an awesome week.